Alrighty guys, we're back for some Hellraiser Red, and this is a Phyrexia, all will be one, standard brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you. Also, we do got that Discord link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got in the deck? Well, we have 4 Capricious Hellraisers, and this is a 6 mana 4/4 flying dragon, but it costs 3 less to cast if you have 9 or more cards in your graveyard. So we have a bunch of ways to put cards into our graveyard in this build to work with the Hellraiser, but then when it enters the battlefield, exile 3 cards at random from your graveyard, choose a non-creature, non-land card from among them, and copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost, which is pretty ridiculous, guys. So to work with Hellraiser, we're rocking 3 Portal to Phyrexias. We've been seeing this card often, so I don't think I necessarily have to go over it, but I kind of sort of want to since it's a big part of the strategy here. 9 mana artifact, and when it ETBs, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures, which is a lot of creatures. At the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It's a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. So yeah, very powerful artifact, huh? Being able to play this out for free off of a Hellraiser sounds awesome, but it is 3 random cards from your graveyards, which means Hellraiser's ability could just hit like 3 lands if you're just ditching a bunch of lands to the grave. So we'll see. It's going to be a little bit random sometimes, huh? 25 total land over here. Just real quick, I wanted to go over that we have a couple Mirrex and a Crucible. While we were here talking about the top end, I just want to get the mana out of the way. What else do we got here, guys? Well, we got 3 Bitter Reunions. Being able to discard cards in this deck sounds awesome, and I really like this because for 1 mana you can sack it and creatures you control gain haste until end of turn, which could be pretty awesome if you're slamming some Hellraisers onto the board. So we have 4 Cathartic Pyres. Being able to plug cards into our graveyard is going to be very key for playing out cheap Hellraisers from our hand. So also just being spot removal is very important. We have 4 Obsessive Astronomers and a small day and night theme in here as well. So if it's neither day nor night, it becomes day when Obsessive Astronomer enters the battlefield. And then whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. So just a great way to pile more stuff into the grave. To work with the day and night theme, we do have 2 Celestus, and I'm not worried about the fact that it's legendary, because if you do end up getting one, then you can always ditch the other one to any of these discard cards, right? The Astronomer, the Celestus itself has the discard ability, Bitter Reunion, the Cathartic Pyre, and a bunch of other stuff packed in here too, so I'm not worried about this being legendary at all. It's going to be very powerful in here, and the life gain comes in handy too. Got a couple of Brotherhoods end to help us against maybe like the soldier builds. Some mono red really knows how to plug creatures onto the board sometimes, right? Just anything like that. Being able to slow it down sounds awesome. We have 4 Fable of the Mirror Breakers. A second ability on here, of course, we get to discard cards, and Fable is just ultra powerful either way in any deck like this, any kind of mid-range or anything. So being able to ramp on the top ability is going to be super important too. Yeah, Reflection is going to be awesome. Oh, using the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki to copy a Hellraiser? Oh my goodness. Anyways, for mana spot, guys, we got a couple big scores in here. Just another powerful way to plug cards into our grave. Got a couple Sunstreak Phoenix to work with that day and night theme as well. It's just a great card to discard, and then it's actually pretty easy to bring back from the grave too. We've done entire mid-range decks based on Sunstreak Phoenix, and it always ends up being a lot better than it looks. So a 4 mana 4/2 flying, if it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as Sunstreak Phoenix enters the battlefield. And then whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, you can pay 1 in a red. If you do, return Sunstreak Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Now, the fact that it comes back tapped does hold this creature back a little bit, but overall, it's pretty solid, guys. I like the 2 of in here. A very important card in the deck, we have all 4 Mightstone and Weakstones acting as very powerful removal or a way to replenish your hand by drawing 2 cards. Just super powerful, super important for this style of deck. On the very top end as well, I missed the single Cityscape Leveler here. Now, being a creature, it doesn't like work with the Hellraiser, but it is still a pretty solid one if you're going to be sending this to the grave early on. At least it still has the Unearth ability, which leads me to a very small amount of anti-synergy in the deck, guys. Between like Cityscape Leveler with the Unearth or bringing back Phoenix when it switches from day to night, you could accidentally exile the Cityscape Leveler or the Phoenix from the grave with the Hellraiser, so just a little bit of anti-synergy. I'm not too concerned about it. No honorable mentions today, guys, because I feel like there's just too many possibilities for a deck like this. Mid-range style red, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much different removal that we could switch around and stuff like that, so no honorable mentions. I think this one's going to be a pretty cool one overall, guys, so like, we're not too worried about making this only 3 mana. But when we do, those are the turns where we really just want to pop off and play a bunch of other stuff from our hand too. Because at that point, we probably already have the 6 mana to just play this out anyways. But playing it out for 3 lets you play other stuff as well. And if you're getting like a free big score off the Hellraiser or something like that, then you're getting extra treasure tokens. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to talk about Mightstone Weakstone being a legendary artifact is actually pretty powerful in this deck, because if you play a second Mightstone Weakstone, use it as removal or something, only one of them gets to stick on the board, which means, yeah, the other one does get chucked into the grave, which means you might be able to hit it with the Hellraiser, which is really cool, huh? So, okay, guys, that's the deck. Lots to talk about in here. I actually think this is going to be a pretty tough one to play as well, so I'm a little bit nervous, honestly, but we'll see, right? Maybe it's easier than I'm thinking. Either way, enough rambling. Let's go ahead, take it into some ranked, and see how we do. Alright, we'll see if we can get right into that first match. Heck yeah, we do. So what am I expecting from the build? Okay, I'm not expecting too much. I think it's probably leaning towards jank, but I am expecting a fun time. And honestly, like, Big Red is set up right now, I feel. So just by playing some of the Big Red cards in general... Oh, Phoenix Chick. Wow, we're going to be put to the test right out the gate. Alright, well, we'll see, man. We don't have a lot of removal in this hand at all. Bitter Reunion could help us find it, of course. I think it's worth getting the Mirrex down. Nah, not when we just have so many mountains, too. I'll wait on the Mirrex. Astronomer might be worth it right now, too. Now, we're just going to go Bitter Reunion, see what we draw. And ditch a mountain. Okay, Portal to Phyrexia. Nice. Big score is great, too. Yeah, oh boy, we're in trouble. Oh boy. A lot of the mid-range decks that I've been putting together recently, though, have been a little bit too slow for the current meta, but then when we're not playing the mid-range, then we're not seeing, well, it depends. It depends. The meta's been all over the place for me. No Fables in hand could be pretty bad. Yeah. You know what? I'll use this as a red source. We might as well, right? And keep the other red source open. Going right up against mono red is trying to tell us something for sure. It's trying to tell us that having early removal is very important. But that doesn't mean that we won't be able to ramp properly. Like next turn we have big score. We started the day and night cycle. We knew they had the Rending Flame, but it's not like we weren't going to play the creature, right, guys? Because that stopped them from playing something else from their hand, so... Oh, they still had something anyways. Oh, that's scary business. That's scary business, man. They're swinging for 5 here, and we're in some serious danger. The best thing we could possibly do is actually have, well, oh my goodness. What a draw, guys. Super important. We're probably still going to die anyways because they have the Mishra's Foundry. So we really needed to see that last turn. So we might want to talk about going up Brotherhood's End. If your meta that you are seeing is strictly just aggro, which I am hearing from some people. Wow, they still have 3 coming in this turn. Actually, they could just kill us, depending on what the last card in their hand is. That's that. Even if we find removal off the big score this turn, so we ditch Portal, because the main plan is to hit that off the Hellraiser. Yeah, GG. Wow. Hey, overall, the deck drew pretty poorly here, I would say. We have a lot more to see than just this mid-range to top end of the deck. So, good game, opponent. You know, we have to start somewhere, and this just happens to be where we started this game. The Brotherhood's End was a great draw, but Mono Red knows how to plug that damage in and keep it going, huh? I heard that, so I've been asking in a lot of these videos, like the past couple weeks, what everyone is going up against. It sounds everywhere for you guys as well, although I am hearing that it's a lot of aggro, and I'm hearing that it's a lot of mono red like that, and a lot of mono black. But I haven't been seeing it too much. That was actually the first mono red deck that I went up against in how many matches, I wonder? Maybe like, oh man, I want to say like 15 games or so, but I don't quote me on that. I'd have to go back and check. Okay, early removal, Brotherhood's End. Now see, this is the kind of hand that you want to see if you're going up against mono red, for sure. Absolutely. Skrelv, okay. Okay, we'll get the mountain down. One of the reasons to opt for Mirrex over some other like utility land and stuff is the bottom ability here for 3 and then tap it, create the 1/1. It acts as like an extra way to help you close out games, you know? Creating the 1/1s, helping you get toxic through or whatever. And it becomes pretty easy to do that when you have the Mightstone and Weakstone on the board, which of course can tap for that ability, which is awesome. Slaughter Singer. We already have a poison over here. Again, I haven't been seeing a lot of this either, really. Brotherhood's End is going to clean up this board state quite nicely, so I'm just going to kind of ignore everything, let them remove our Astronomer with their 3 mana toxic creature that I can't remember the name of right now. Yeah, Annex Sentry, there it is. Oh, but Brotherhood's End doesn't hit the Sentry because it does have that 4 toughness, doesn't it? The thought process there was, yeah, we'll get our creature back and their board will be wiped, but no, it doesn't work that way. We could still hit these, though. We could. The Toxic's just a huge problem right now. We hit artifacts, it hits the Sentry, but it doesn't hit the Singer. Of course, it hits Skrelv, too. But then we can block the... No, we can't. Oh, yes, we can. It's a whenever another creature... Okay. Okay, so destroy all artifacts. Get our Astronomer back. And technically, we're just, like, in danger, but, you know, we're fine. We're fine, guys. Skrelv's Hive, okay. Oh, block for sure. Oh, my goodness. Definitely block. That was a terrific block for us, guys. It really was. No point in keeping the Cathartic Pyre open. Drop the Fable. So this is, yeah, another Annex Sentry would be really bad because it cleans up the Shaman. End up holding back, and Contaminator is on this board, huh? So let's ditch a couple cards. Let's ditch the Portal. to Phyrexia because we're not even close to actually paying full price for it anyways. Main point there being Hellraiser, right? That's the goal. If we see a mana, then we could swing, drop the Hellraiser. Three of these will get exiled. And we might be able to hit that portal. We might be able to. This is kind of what the deck's supposed to do, guys. So, I mean, if the only card that doesn't get exiled from the Hellraiser ability is Portal to Phyrexia, then, I mean, hey, it is what it is, you know? But I'm sure we'll hit it. It's a great chance to hit it. There it is. Portal to Phyrexia. There it is. Let's go, guys. No, opponent, come back! We never get to play out the cool stuff, man. Oh, that was awesome. So the card that wasn't exiled was the Obsessive Astronomer then. Nice. I'm pleased, to say the least. Oh, man. So there's something to be said about just going up the fourth portal, too. Like, if you're really, really going for that combo. But man, if we would have missed a mana, like, that could have been a completely different game. The opponent might have been able to close it out next turn. They had the Contaminator for the Proliferate there and everything. Kind of wish that was the first match, so that way, you know, I love getting the deck to do the thing that it's supposed to do in the first game. There's just something so satisfying. But second game works too, huh? Good hand. Kinda. The opponent goes first again here. At least we have early removal, and there's just so much stuff that we could draw all the time. Oh, wow. Yeah, like, now today I'm seeing a lot of different things. Ah, man, meta's been weird. I brought it up a few times, too. Maybe that's just a sign of a healthier meta, like, not always knowing what the opponent's playing. I mean, look at this. I thought this was Selesnya. It looks like Naya now, so, like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe Standard's looking up? And honestly, I haven't seen Mono Black for a while, so. Portal in the grave. Okay, I hope I draw more mana. We might need to go up a mana, honestly, but when we're discarding so much and, like, filtering through, well, we could still go up a mana, even so. So Kamanos are about to roll in. They have two open over there. Cathartic Pyre, a second Bitter Reunion could do a thing. I like the second Bitter Reunion over the Cathartic Pyres, but I think keeping Pyre open. Now, I'm gonna start the filtering process, guys. If I keep filtering, like, seeing more mana and everything, the sooner we can get to Hellraiser, the sooner we can cheat out that portal again. Okay, second portal's in the grave. Another mountain. That's good news. Opponent swinging in for 3, putting a third poison counter on us next turn here. Yeah, some Naya with a Skrell, huh? So I bet it's not even a poison build then. It's probably just, yeah, oh my. Thalia's very scary. We have 2 cards in the grave right now. 2 mana open, so Brotherhood's End at least hit. So there's gonna be moments where we have to consider, like, plopping a Bitter Reunion into the grave to get closer to that 9, but, like, now is not the time for that, because we only have 2 over here. But if we were closer to that 9, then, you know, using that extra mana to sacrifice a Bitter Reunion, like, for example, if we had 8 in the grave or something. Alright, let's see if we can successfully wipe this board. They flipped the Kamano, but there's no question in my mind. that we have to wipe this board. All right. Yeah, something's in their hand. Give Indestructible to Thalia would be best case scenario for the opponent. Tyvar stand, yeah. Keeping Thalia around, Mana flips, they're swinging in for 5. I'm loving the opponent's deck right now. We're in danger, guys. This Thalia slows down a deck like this, like, to a ridiculous extent, so. Hajar, dude, this is just Naya aggro? Oh my goodness. Okay. 5th mana is great. The Thalia is just such a problem. Especially now that they have the Hajar here. As if we go 3 mana for Pyre, we have 2 mana left over. They sacrifice Hajar, give Indestructible to Thalia, and then we can't play the second Pyre. But I think that's still the play, and we're going to do it on our turn because we have to know if we are going to be playing the Astronomer this turn. Yes, it's pretty brutal, but then we play the Astronomer as a blocker, and we have 4 cards in the grave. Jetmir's Garden, man, they're just going for the cycle on that right away. Plaza of Heroes. Take 3, get that etching out of here. Down to 5, 1 card in the opponent's hand. Switches to Knight. Okay. They have 2 mana open. And neither of them can be green, so the stand cannot happen. So we go Cathartic Pyre, take care of Thalia, right? Before they can draw. If we go Fable, no, doesn't work that way. Yeah, we just remove, and we can't do anything else this turn. That is 5 cards in the grave. I might be tempted to drop one of the Bitter Reunions just to get closer to the 9. They cycle with Garden. 2 mana open. They definitely have hasty creatures. Another Thalia. Get out of here, Thalia. No. No, Thalia is such a pain in the butt right now. So 5. So if we go to 6, we have Fable. I guess we keep the Bitter Reunions for now. So this can block. We don't ramp with it, but we could ramp actually. We could ramp with this. We take 2 next turn. Depends what's left in their hand, because if we don't block, then the Tyvar stand would end us if they had that, right? Yeah, this making everything more expensive is awful. Absolutely awful. They have 2 cards in hand. If it is a Tyvar stand, then it's game over. I guess we should block then. Yeah, we block for the sake of blocking at that point. We can't play the Mightstone and Weakstone because it's 6 mana with Thalia on the board. They had a 3rd Jetmir's Garden. That's a little bit funny. So if we ditch a Bitter Reunion now, we'll have 6 cards in our grave. And then we're discarding 2 cards next turn. So that's 8 cards in the grave. Okay. I'll ditch a Bitter Reunion just for the sake of Hellraiser. Oh, nice. We actually... So I guess Mightstone and Weakstone should hit the Thalia over the Hellraiser, because we might not hit... Pretty much anything we hit with Hellraiser would be good, huh? Submit 0? We're just casting the Hellraiser, guys. We're doing this. I was trying to make it cheaper and stuff, but Portal to Phyrexia. Thalia! No! Thalia, no! Why? How could you? How could you? Wait, can I choose something? I can't choose anything. Oh no! I've done this before, guys. We've been in this exact scenario. I always do this with Thalia. Yeah, so non-creep, even though, okay, and we've talked about this too down in the comments. I apologize, guys. So even though you can do it without paying its mana cost, you still have to pay the extra 1 from the Thalia. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Look, I gotta be real with you guys. It still might be leaning towards us a little bit now that we can start playing stuff out like the Mightstone and Weakstone and everything. Oh! GG opponent, really? It was a 4/4 flyer that did it? Or did they feel bad for me? Well, either way, yeah, be very careful, because even if you get to cast something for free, you still have to pay the Thalia tax. So, yeah, that could have been bad. So the best play there then would have been Mightstone, Weakstone, take out Thalia. I think that would have been the best play, because anything else that we got for free, we still would have had to pay the 1. Yeah. I'll tell you what though, Hellraiser, just straight out casting it for 6 and being able to hit something huge from the grave is kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy. I was looking for a way that match to get the 9 cards in the grave so we had extra mana, which in that case, being able to pay the 1 if we had the extra mana, right? If we only paid 3 for the Hellraiser, then the portal would have actually hit because we would have had the extra. So yeah, good reasons, I guess. Couple Hellraisers, Fable, early removal. Okay, opponent goes first here. One day we'll go first, but I mean, in this deck, it's fine. As long as it's not too aggressive of a deck that the opponent is running, of course. I think that last game showed us that the deck is more than capable of surviving an onslaught for at least a little bit. The opponent's deck kinda sorta ran out of steam. Underdog, huh? Alright. Get the Mirrex down. Let's go ahead, start the day and night cycle here. They go for the cut down and the swing with the underdog. Still have 2 mana open for underdog number 2, or just keep the removal open. Fable, our 2/2 Goblin Shaman, is probably gonna bite the dust here, but Fable's definitely worth playing. Sheoldred's Edict, we've been seeing a lot more of that recently, which is fun. It's a good piece of removal, man. It really is. Just gonna be cut down number 2. Let's send... I want to keep both Hellraisers. No, Graveyard Trespasser, no. I always like to forget that that card exists. Alright. Well, Trespasser's going to be a pain in my butt, so we're going to take it out with Cathartic Pyre. And I'm actually going to send one of the mountains to see if I can see something a little bit different here. Astronomer. Which one do we want to discard, guys? Because I guess I'll discard... I really don't want to get rid of a Hellraiser. It's so bad, guys. It's so bad. We're just going to get Astronomer on the board, and we're going to hold out for a turn and see if there's something better to remove with the Cathartic Pyre. And it's not like people don't play with Graveyard Trespasser too. Like, it is absolutely everywhere, in everyone's mono black list at least, right? Which again, I haven't really seen too much mono black recently. I have no idea, man. The meta's been weird. All my matches have been strange. Yeah, pick up the Astronomer. I should have hit the Graveyard Trespasser before they attacked in. I distracted myself. If we just, like, hit the Trespasser to... whatever. Let's do this. It's so bad. It's so bad, guys. We're gonna get rid of one of the Hellraisers. We could get rid of Crucible too, but they act as chump blockers when it comes time. Another Astronomer actually isn't too bad. So we surprise them with Crucible. We double block Flesh Gorger. We take 3 from Underdog, and we're still kind of in this. I mean, they ran out of cards. Switches to nighttime. Let's get that Flesh Gorger out of here. Oop, there we go. Take 3. I'm going to keep the 1 for now because we might have to chump something a lot more important. Good, they didn't top deck spot removal. That is good news. Another Hellraiser. I got a little bit excited, but they gobbled up 2. We have 5 cards in our grave right now. We can't switch it back to daytime. Only having the 4 mana is rough. Man, if they switch it back to daytime, then we can discard with Astronomer. We should block. We're getting too low. I don't just want to chump with the 1/1 because we need the creature for Invoke Despair to not kill us. Oh, it is an Invoke Despair too. Down to 2, they draw 2, and oh, Mightstone and Weakstone. Oh no. Can activate that as a sorcery. Yeah, no, that's probably it, guys. They probably got their second Invoke Despair in hand. Oh, they could just, yeah, they could do that too. And this can't block, so. Excuse me, guys. GG opponent. There had to have been a better way to play that one out for sure. For sure. Like there had to have been, like there were so many different little options for us and different little tiny decisions. Taking out the Trespasser wasn't like super necessary. If I would have taken it out before it swung in there too, then it wouldn't have picked up that extra card from the grave. I don't think that would have come into play though necessarily. That's just a great example of just a combo style deck like this doing pretty much nothing, right? Just doing its best to defend. I like seeing the 4 mountains here. And we can talk about going up to 26 land for the deck, but when you're just like constantly filtering through the deck too, 26 can feel like a ton of mana. Especially if you're, well, and then ditching the extra mana in this deck in particular is a little bit bad for the Hellraiser because you're hitting 3 random cards out of the grave and you don't want them all to be land. Uh-oh, Rot Priest is going to start the Toxic here as we have no removal available. Oh, guys, we went first. Let's go. All right. Fable number 1 comes down. Honestly, next turn going into big score sounds sweet. And we can start filtering with Fable too. Oh, is this going to be the Golgari fight decks? Those decks are scary, man. Glissa comes down. Or Glissa? The Sunslayer comes down. Okay, discard 2. It's a lot of mana. I guess we can ditch the mana. I guess, right? We better. Cathartic Pyre is great. Takes this out. Rot Priest gives us a poison counter then. If we go Cathartic Pyre, take this, then swing, we have enough mana to play the second Fable. That's 2 poison counters for us. Actually, if we would have went big score, used the 2 treasure, we might have had like another Cathartic Pyre or something to play potentially. Oh, well, no. Wait, this was fine. This was definitely a fine turn. Taking care of a powerful creature like the Sunslayer is important. they go ahead and pass. And we have some serious ramp on this board with a couple tokens just chilling. If we ditch both the lands, we might not see any more land, but we have the big score, we have the ramp on the Goblin Shamans. I think it's safe to ditch the lands here, and I like the Celestus, so. Okay, Hellraiser in hand. Brotherhood's End does not hit the Contaminator. So if we start with the big score, I love the Celestus, but I do want to see, before swinging in, I want to see if there's... Actually, Brotherhood's End is pretty detrimental to us right now, so that's probably the better card to hit. Okay. 7 cards there. Alright. Going up some extra treasures for next turn could be huge for us. But playing out Fable and Celestus this turn sounds pretty good to me. Actually, they bring their Contaminator down too. So what we end up doing then is we go well, we play this as a land. We go Celestus. And then we go Fable. And hopefully they don't have like a Liliana and then they plus it to get rid of my Hellraiser. Hellraiser isn't doing a lot here, but copying it with Reflection could be pretty good, especially if we get a free big score, which, by the way, you still have to pay the discard, so make sure you have something in hand. Okay, wow. Wow. It says 3 toxic on it. Wow. That is dangerous. We could double block. Losing Reflection could be really bad. And then if it dies, it's returned. Okay, we might actually die this turn. Because I'm going to take this. Because I don't want to lose Reflection. So we're up to 7. Let's see if the opponents kill us this turn. You know, if they have it, they have it type of thing. Another Contaminator. Another Hellraiser. Oh my. You know what? Let's see what we see. Let's get rid of one of the Hellraisers. Excuse me, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what we see. It is a mana. Okay. Well, let's get the Hellraiser down. We're going to be forced to block these Contaminators. Okay, free big score. Let's do it. Ditch the mountain. Bitter Reunion gives haste if we need it. If we spend the mana. And then we won't have mana until we swing with the Goblin Shaman. Nothing really great except for the Cathartic Pyre, which just doesn't hit the Contaminator. There are so many options, guys. My brain! Send help! Send help, my poor brain. I'm gonna go Bitter Reunion over the copy on the Hellraiser. Ditch this mountain and draw 2. It's great card draw. Replenishing our hand, potentially. Big score, and the mountain isn't too bad since we didn't play one yet. Which means now we can copy the Hellraiser. Which is a little ridiculous. We should probably do it to block next turn, huh? Instead of swinging in. The aggro player in me really, really, really wanted to swing here. And to get an extra mana, I don't think they'll block here. Because they might think that this last card is removed. No, they do go for the block, actually. Ah, the Rot Priest. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I like having the extra mana. I don't mind it. It's fine. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Because, yeah, we have 7 poison, so we're in some serious danger. Wow. Wow, just some Golgari Toxic looks terrifying. This card actually looks pretty decent, guys. The way it pairs with the Rot Priest too, like how are we gonna get around this? Their last card could just end us too, honestly. I'm trying to think of how we get around this because we have to kill the Contaminators twice. Whatever it dies, return that card to the battlefield under your control, and then we just need 2 more poison. What a match, guys! This was a fun one though, but yep, swing, swing. All right, let's see what we see on the Hellraiser copy. Brotherhood's End. Brotherhood's End is the only card we hit. There wasn't too much to hit to begin with, honestly. Brotherhood's End makes it so that way we can't just lose all this though. So let's decline. I don't think we want to do that. So we block here, they get that back. And I'm gonna double block here, keep my Hellraiser on the board. They get their Contaminators back. Also, their last card could be like a Tyvar's, like anything to buff the Contaminator to get extra trample through would be game. Oh man. Yep, Contaminator, Contaminator. This is terrifying, dude. Okay. When that dies, they proliferate, so where do we even begin? Let's see. We got Reflection. We could go... Yeah, like, the portal to Phyrexia is what we want to see. So we're going to start with big score. Ditch the mountain. See what we see. Okay. Mightstone and Weakstone can take care of the Rot Priest successfully. And we need this portal to be in the grave to hit it off the Hellraiser, or we could just try to cast it outright next turn. I think we go Mightstone, Weakstone, because it's on the board for the -5/-5, which I guess it literally has to be Rot Priest, right? Because that's like the best way to get. Because we have enough blocker. Yeah, it's Rot Priest. Because if they see something off the top, then we keep Reflection for Hellraiser. We block well, the rat. This is insane, guys. This is insane. Okay. No attacks. End turn. 6 mana over here. 2 mana from the Mightstone, and then our treasure. So that, oh, and Celestus, so we can successfully use the treasure if we wanted to. But we won't. Yeah, there's probably a lot they could draw to help them wrap this up, honestly. It's a really tough match. Go for the full swing. Copy Hellraiser. See what we see. Fable. Hey, nice. Very nice. So we don't want to take the Toxic from the rat either. So we block here, right? We block there, make sure the trample doesn't go through. They proliferate once. Reflection or Shaman? I guess Reflection. I hope this is fine. Proliferate one time. They just need one more poison. By blocking with our Hellraiser, we're getting rid of like one of the ways to end them before they find the proliferate. So another bloated Contaminator. Well, Portal to Phyrexia cleans that up, and discard the mountain, right? Yeah. Mirrex we will play, because it's a good one to have on the board, I would say. And this is fine. Contaminator's gone. There's so much they could draw. I don't know if this type of deck has haste or anything, but I'll swing and keep the 2/2 back and ramp like this. That's fine. We'll keep the 1/2/2 back just in case there's some kind of surprise in the opponent's deck that I can't think of right now. Like, yeah, there's probably so much that they could use to proliferate to get that last poison. Oh, nice. Wait, yeah, they blitz that out too? That's a pretty awesome addition. It helps clean up a lot of different things, but it doesn't have the toxic, which is why they have stuff like this, the communion. Very cool. They get to draw here too. Gets them one step closer to finding a card that helps them proliferate. And we are gonna go my graveyard. Hellraiser's coming back, guys. Oh, if we hit the big score though. Oh crap, see we don't have a card to discard now. We're just gonna go Fable. Another portal to Phyrexia. Discard it? Probably not. Probably not, right? No, we'll discard it. I just kind of wanted to see more, but then also grabbing something here off the Hellraiser. Yep, we saw the portal. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's go ahead, give this all haste. At this point, they have one card in hand. We should still keep one token back in case they find another nightclub. Right, we'll keep that in hand. Mirrex is open. Okay, end the turn. Anyways, yeah, if they find another nightclubber and a communion, then that would do it. So, what a game, guys. The opponent could find it. No, just like that. Just like that, guys. GG, opponent. You know what? If I wouldn't have kept the Goblin Shaman back twice, that's 4 damage, guys. And they're at 4. Don't blame the deck there. That was literally my decision to keep the Goblin Shaman back 2 turns in a row. Oh, no. That was an awesome game, though, opponent. That was so much fun. Okay, well, let's go over the deck one more time, because we are 47 minutes in, so... Oh, buddy. Oh, nice. We got the Might Overseer. Sweet. I'll have to make a deck with that or something. Hellraiser red, here we are. We didn't get to see Sunstreak Phoenix. No! I love Sunstreak Phoenix, guys, and I wanted an excuse to play with it one more time before it rotates out this September, right? That September's still quite a few months away, so maybe I'll get to play with Phoenix again before then. Obsessive Astronomer was not nearly as good as I thought it was going to be. I thought, like, the concept of having this in my head was a lot different than what it actually ended up doing on these board states, right? Which was just kind of die to everything, or be forced to block everything, or you know what I mean? So it never actually helped us fill that grave faster. But you never know, it might come in handy. What do you actually want instead? Just more front removal here. More, right here, Flame Blessed Bolt could be really good, especially if you are up against a lot of the mono red matchups and stuff. I could actually see Play with Fire being decent in this deck too. If you're hitting the Efface and getting that Scry in, Scrying could be pretty important in a deck like this, honestly. Just more removal that cost 1 mana or 2 mana would be pretty good. Cathartic Pyre is definitely your best bet as far as having something be like a 4 of as a removal, because then if you don't need it, then you're using it to cycle it and pack on the extra cards into your grave. Hellraiser was sweet, guys. This belongs in a deck somewhere, whether it's janky or potential. Like, there's a lot of potential with this card, isn't there, man? Like, it did a lot. The way it paired with the portal to Phyrexia was kind of just gross on so many levels. I love how it pairs with Mightstone, Weakstone too, even though we didn't really get to see that today. It is something. 25 total mana, I guess didn't feel like enough, but it was enough overall, especially when we're ramping with like Celestus, filtering through our hands with Cathartic Pyre, Bitter Reunion, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, technically Astronomer, but we didn't get to see that. Ramping with the big score while filtering through our hands, so technically 25 should be enough, but if you are struggling, go up to 26 and you'll be fine. Didn't really get to see a point to have Mirrex today, especially since the mites can't block. The big thing, if these could block, then it would be a completely different story probably, right? Being able to create blockers with this would be kind of insane. So, you know, Mirrex is kind of unnecessary. The thought process there was just have more ways to win the game just in case. And yeah, I guess relatively unnecessary, but it is something to sink your extra mana into off of like Mightstone and Weakstone and stuff. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this one. Could go up the third Brotherhood's End and feel probably pretty safe about it too. Now it doesn't hit too much. There's just certain matches where it just doesn't hit anything, man. And sometimes it's going to be detrimental to your board state if you have a bunch of like the Fables going around. So, I could definitely see going up a third one of these if you are only seeing the aggro matches. I'm not though. I'm all over the place, man. I'm seeing aggro, I'm seeing mid-range, I'm seeing control. It was a lot of control for a lot of days in a row there, but overall, it's just all over the place. So I don't really know. I don't really know. You guys let me know what you would add or take out down in the comments. If you made it this far in the video, y'all are champions for real. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.